Hello, today I'm joined by Robin and Penilla from Propertystream. How are you doing, guys?
Very well, thanks. Good to see you, David.
Great,
Nice,
thanks, David.
nice to have you both with us today. It's sort of exciting. I say that to everybody, but genuinely, this is exciting because I've had a little look at what you've got under the hood here with your new Signature 23 website launch. And it's been a bugbear of agents for years in terms of when you're planning and designing a new website, you want to make sure that you get it right. And very often we will turn up to website providers and try and pick one off the shelf, but they don't all work straight out of the box, and they don't have that magic combination of features that make it really work. There seems to be a lot of add-ons that need to go into the recipe. But you guys reckon you've cracked it. So tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, so I think you've got to give it due that the website template providers who've been going around for donkey's years, 10, 15, 20 years, some of them, they've done a phenomenal job in getting people online, getting estate agents out of the dark ages and actually online with a website. But the problem is many of them haven't evolved with the time, and they lack the features and the functionality. And I think most of all, that sort of brand expression. So how they feel, how they get people across through their websites and really standing them out from their competitors. I think pretty much all the ones we've ever come across have lacked that. So this has been our real channel, is how can we achieve that? All those things I've just said without having to charge someone 10, 20, 30, 40 grand, so they have to bring out a mortgage to pay for it. How can we achieve all that in a package that actually competes with the traditional template providers? And we finally cracked it.
That is fantastic. I think there's two aspects to this, and one, I'm going to give you my feedback as somebody who's had to sort of do the agent side of designing a website, is that you get into a relationship with your website providers where you, at some point, in terms of tweaking it and getting it right, you feel like you're bugging them. Can we just change this, and can we just change that? And how would it look if we move this to over there? Should the call to action be higher, lower? And there's a sense that I can't really take ownership of that, and I'm very much reliant on you in order to facilitate those changes. What you're offering the agent this time round is slightly different. You're giving them control and a bit of creative control as well.
That's right. We're giving them complete control, and that's definitely one of the USPs. I think it's probably the easiest to edit and update through either us or through our clients out of all the property websites we've ever come across. So you've got this really powerful, what they call a visual builder. And that means you've got the web page in front of you and you can see where the header is, you can see where the text is. And it's like changing a Word document. You can move things about, and you've got a library of different modules. So it opens up a whole new world in terms of being able to create new pages, new area pages, new branch pages, and it can be done really quickly. So this is something we've had clients saying they want this for years, and we've been able to achieve it with Signature 23.
And I'm presuming this gives a website a longer lease of life as well, because tweaking it, updating it, and changing it along the way, that, I suppose the word I'm reaching for is agility, isn't it? It's the ability to sort of respond very quickly to things that need to be done to our website. So there was a time where we all needed to put a notice on our website about how we were opening, how we were conducting viewings. Who knows when the next one of those is around the corner? But I'm presuming your website now enables an agent to make minor sort of changes to their wording and positioning on their homepage effectively. You've given them the control to do that.
So we know from all the websites we've done in the past that the most successful ones are the ones that are updated on a regular basis. And so we know that people actually come back to your website far more than you might expect. So our most successful clients are the ones where they're updating their homepage header image and updating the graphics and the content on there to stay relevant, whether it's to do with a campaign, something seasonal, to do with spring at the moment, something to do with Christmas. And this allows you to do that easily. And that's part of our sort of monthly support and hosting package.
So who do you envisage this website being, this package being best used by? Are we focusing on one particular sort of type of agent, or is it sort of suitable for users of any sort of scale?
Yeah. Okay. So absolutely, we feel not just because we're guessing this, because of the amount of inquiries we've had. Our background has been bespoke websites. That's how we've got our name, and that's how we've won awards for best website multiple times.
Very good.
And what have you. So that's been our bread and butter. That's got us our reputation. But the amount of times in the past that we've had people who've had a template website that's looking tired, dated, it's not really getting across who they are. And we haven't been able to provide something for them. So it's for people who have had a template. They feel that it's looking very dated. It hasn't updated through the 3 or so years that they've had it. And they're looking for an update. They're looking for something that really gets across who they are. But as I say, they don't want to be spending 20, 30 grand to do that. So yeah, there's a massive gap in the market for it. We know from the amount of people who've asked us for this over the past sort of 10 years.
I think it's definitely for agents who see themselves, I need to be the best in my market. I want to compete, but I might just have 1 or 2 branches. It could be for multiple branches, but it's a great sort of that the Signature 23 is really going to get them above the competitors who are on those more basic template sites, because it just simply because we are able to communicate their brand in such a strong way, and the ability for themselves to update things. So yeah, it's definitely for agents who feel they want it ahead.
I think just to add that as well, I think template websites aren't traditionally known for lead generation. So one of the things we've also done, as well as user experience, is everything we've learned about lead generation with working with the corporates and all the user testing that we've done, and hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of sort of watching where people go and how people fill out forms and that sort of thing. We packaged it into the Signature 23 as we do with all our websites. So it's really focused on lead generation and earning you money, which I think is something a lot of people with template websites really lack.
Yeah, I mean those calls to action and how people's behavior and how they fill in forms and how they interact with the content on your website. There is a science behind it, and I know you guys have distilled that down and sort of made sure that it's there in this package. And I think that's the difference today, isn't it? A website is not just a digital business card. It should be an actual member of staff that generates leads. And somebody sat on your website, sometimes we don't really sort of give this enough credit, but when you've got somebody looking at your website, they're only looking at you at that moment. So it's not like they found you on the portals where you're in and amongst other agents. That is it's your one moment to shine, and you don't want to squander that. So really what hits them when they first hit your website is really all important about sort of that customer journey and keeping them within your loop, so to speak.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things that I talk about quite a lot, is kind of that change in terms of how you view your website, how you actually invest in your website, and how you should budget for it. Now, we might come on and talk a bit more about that later on, but essentially what you're saying is absolutely right. With the digital transformation, or your website is really your profile. It's your profile online. It's where all your leads will be hubbing together, and hence you need to treat it as almost your primary marketing tool. Yeah. And that's what we're trying to explain to clients. It's no longer kind of an IT cost in your P&L. It's definitely part of your ongoing marketing spend, and it should be treated, with care, because it's where you're going to drive. It's what's going to drive you more leads and more business.
Yeah, and then you were right with what you said before about updating a website, because in the course of all our work, we'll obviously visit quite a few agents' websites, and sometimes the first thing that hits you is an old COVID-19 notice back in the day.
Yeah.
And we're almost 4 years on now, and so there's the sense that if you visit an agent's website, and it may even look good, the logo may look okay, if the first thing that hits you is an instant val tool and a blog from 2019 about how to prepare your home for viewings, it's not quite the same as up to date relevant content. I mean, Pernilla, I know I'm preaching to the choir here because you are the absolute queen of blog content and content marketing. But that's part and parcel of getting a regularly updated site. It's what you feed into it.
Absolutely. As you said, a good estate agent needs to portray that to their customers, but also don't forget the Google element of it as well. Keeping your site updated with regular content updates and refreshes is also going to help Google in terms of the SEO rankings and what have you. So it's kind of a win-win on both counts, and it's really important that you do that.
I'm going to ask you two questions now, and I'm apologizing in advance because we need to talk about money, okay? One of them is price, because this is obviously brought in a level that is intended, I think, to be affordable for most agents, regardless of the size, even for new startups, to be honest with you. You can't go wrong with this sort of functionality. My second question is, what are my options so that gives me a sort of your basic package in terms of ongoing maintenance. If I needed other features and so on, is that an option as well? So over to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is all packed into one thing. So we've got so our most popular payment plan there is monthly only. So there's no upfront fee, which is pretty unique as far as we're aware. No upfront fee, then $360 a month, and that covers the website, the design and build, which is also our background and branding and creative and marketing. So that's still a sort of a lot of time and effort goes into that. But then keeping it updated, keeping it fresh, helping you use the CMS, speaking with your property management software, and then also reviews with Pernilla and myself on a quarterly basis to update the homepage header image and the content on that page, do everything we've just talked about. So everything's packaged into one payment of $360 a month, which as far as we have been told, is really quite competitive. What else is? We're quite flexible with the payment plan, so people prefer to pay something, a larger payment at the beginning, then a smaller monthly outcome. Then we are flexible as well. But yeah, definitely, I think puts us in good stead with competing with the other template providers.
No, it's fantastic, and I think that most businesses at the moment, with the budgeting, cash flow, and so on, these sort of payment plan options are always popular because it allows you to sort of pay as you go. But to me as well, it also keeps that relationship between the supplier and also the customer almost in step, because you're naturally sort of going to get together every quarter or whatever it may be to review certain elements of it. And to me, I would feel very confident knowing that you guys are there in the background if I needed you to step in at any time and sort of help me with something. So because your support and guidance, particularly on branding matters, is what you're known for, and it's fantastic.
Thank you, David. Thanks.
I'm biased. I've sort of tried and tested it before, but it's great. It's fantastic. So in terms of agents who are planning their next move of website, is there sort of a few tips that you want to sort of give them in order to prepare themselves for that call with you, or is it literally they sort of have a bit of a demo with you and you show them different template structures? How does it work? Absolutely
no preparation at all, David. And that first meeting will be very short, and it's all about me finding out as much as I can about your needs, what your pain points are, and what you're looking to achieve from a project. And then we'll have a second meeting very quickly afterwards, in terms of me coming back with my recommendations based off that first meeting.
And in terms of building the website out afterwards, is that a process that I get involved with? Are there areas that I need to sort of populate and change in terms of text, or do you deliver sort of a standard offering and then I can tweak it afterwards?
Yeah, so we start off with a workshop at the beginning of the project, kick-off meeting, and that would be for everyone in our team to get to know your team. So that could be the business owners, whoever's going to be in control of the website. And that's really to find out as much as we can about your brand and how you want to come across on the website, the imagery, the type of typography and the type of copywriting you want on there. So that's the first part of the project, and then we'll go away and do our stuff and then come back with something amazing.
Fantastic. I mean, this is great because I think it does give the agent a bit of control, flexibility, but also fully featured website that is actually going to generate business for them for what is a very reasonable price that really isn't going to hurt anybody's cash flow, even at this sort of sensitive time. So it's very timely and it's very much welcome. And I'm sure lots of agents are going to take advantage of that. All of Propertystream's details can be found on kerfuffle.com. Thank you very much for your time, Robin and Penella, once again.
Thank you, David.